Yo, what's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel. APW Sports signing in, and I'm not gonna lie, this season has been crazy. Teams that we thought would be at the top are at the bottom, and teams that we thought weren't going to be a very good football team are at the top. So it's time to head to my Week 5 power rankings. Not to make this any longer, without further ado, let's dive into it. Alright guys, these are my rankings from week 4 last week. Now, I always say this is going to be subject to change, so let's just get right into it. Okay, so first we're starting off with the Cowboys versus the Giants. I'm going to keep the Giants at the D like I had, and as far as the Cowboys go, I'm not going to lie, I'm still going to keep this football team at a B, because of that game, it's like they barely squeezed by the Giants, and they didn't really do anything impressive, I think, in that football game to make me want to move this team up. And the Giants are just the Giants. Daniel Jones is, to me, still not the guy. Malik Neighbors is for real, but Daniel Jones is not it. And then on top of that, the Cowboys have injuries to Parsons. Dak hasn't been looking good. Defensively, they still haven't been looking their best, so I'm keeping this team in a B. Next, we're going to go to the New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. And I think I'm going to keep both teams where they are. I had the Falcons at B, and I'm going to put the Saints as B. The Saints, offensively, have kind of dropped a little bit. They're still a very formidable offense. Defensively, I think that's where their somewhat struggles are, especially last week against Atlanta. And the Falcons, I always said this football team can be a surprising football team, and Kirk Cousins, even though he still turns the ball over, defensively they haven't been the absolute best. At this point, I still think both teams are in the middle of the pack as we speak right now. Next, we're going to go to the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Carolina Panthers. I'm probably going to keep the Bengals as C for now, because they beat the Panthers team, which, even though the Panthers have been playing a little bit better football since Bryce Young has been out, or they benched him, still not a big fan of what the Panthers are doing. I wish they could have developed Bryce Young and tried to actually develop him. And we're talking about the Bengals team, which defensively they still have issues in my opinion. Offensively, I think this is the best that they've looked all year, even though it was against the Panthers. So, keeping them at C. Next, we're going to go to the Rams versus my Bears. I'm moving the Bears up to a B. We finally got a running game going. We finally got DeAndre Swift going. We finally found ways to not turn the football over defensively. We made some very key stops. And as the Rams, I'm going to drop the Rams. I hate to do it because I'm a big fan of what Matthew Stafford is. But the injuries are starting to catch up with them with both the offensive line and the receiving core. Defensively, I think that's probably where they're going to have to wear their hat because of the injuries to the wide receiving core. Defensively, they did not stop the run very well. And, of course, they are just not the same defense that we've accustomed to seeing without Aaron Donald. Next, we're going to go to the Vikings versus the Packers. I'm keeping the Vikings at S. This team has been, let me put them back at S. This team is a very surprising football team. I just really think Sam Darnold has been playing a lot better. Kevin O'Connell has coached his team. Brian Flores and what he's doing with this defense has been just absolutely superb. Justin Jefferson is playing like the best receiver in football. And Aaron Jones has been a big difference in this football team and what they've been able to do. And Sam Darnold's playing his butt off. And as far as the Packers go, I'm dropping the Packers to a B. They were getting blown out 28-0. Give them credit for coming back and making this ball game a little close. But it's just this Packers team defensively, being their top 2 corners being out, did hurt. So I'm going to put them at B. Next, we're going to have the Jacksonville Jaguars versus the Houston Texans. I'm putting the Jaguars at the bottom of the barrel. This team, Doug Peterson is on hot seat right now. Defensively, they just look horrible. Offensively, they haven't been able to get anything going. Trevor Lawrence, it looks like he was regressed a little bit. It's just not a very good football team. And I thought this team would be competitive and trying to compete for that AFC South Division crown. Doesn't look like it. Now, as we're going to the Houston Texans, I am going to put the Texans at A. I'm still a big believer in what this Texans team is. Guys know I love me some C.J. Stroud from The Ohio State University. Defense has been playing solid, so I'm not going to move the Texans at all. And the Jaguars are starting like the worst team in football. Next, we're going to go to the Colts versus the Steelers. I'm still going to keep the Steelers at A. The defense, I still think is elite. They let up 17 points early, but they got some key necessary stops to keep the Steelers in the ball game. And Justin Fields, albeit he did turn the football over, is playing some efficient football, running the football and making some key throws. So I'm going to keep the Steelers at A despite the loss. And we're talking about the Colts. I'm going to move the Colts up to a B. Even though the Anthony Richardson injury does kind of hurt this football team, Joe Flacco came in and played solid. Defensively, they've looked better over the last couple of weeks. So I'm going to move up the Colts to a B. Next, we're going to have the Denver Broncos versus the Jets. Moving the Jets down to a C. We all thought, that was a sloppy game. The weather was all bad, but offensively, they haven't looked good besides the one game against New England all year. And defensively was what we thought this team really had. They did play well against the Broncos. It's just offensively, they just cannot find rhythm and cannot get it going. And the Broncos, I'm still going to keep the Broncos at that C mark. It's just defensively, they're kind of similar to the Jets. Defensively, good. Offensively, Bo Nix has been playing some decent football, but it's still some things we can see better from the offense. Today's video is brought to you by Cellular C4. This is a product that I personally use before I even decided to partner with them. And the first thing I got introduced to was the energy drinks by C4. This right here is a fruit punch flavor. They have many other flavors. They have popsicle flavors that just dropped. They have Skittles, Starburst, all the type of flavors that you want. To help you get started with your day, you can wake up in the morning before you start your day and drink you one of those. And also before you get that workout in, when it's workout day, you can take you some pre-workout. To help you get the boost in your workout, all the products, 0 sugar, low calories. This is a great product to take you in your workouts and your journey on fitness to the next level. And I am happy to partner with a product that I was already using in my own personal life. And I will leave my code in the description below to save you guys 20% on your first purchase of C4 of their workouts. They even have muscle recovery to help boost after workouts. They have so many supplements and things to help you on your fitness journey, and you can get yours today in the description below. Click the link and use my code APW Sports to help you save 20%. And again, the links are in the description below, and use the code APW Sports to save you 20% on your purchase. Now, it is time to get back into the video. Next, we're going to have the Tampa Bay Buccaneers versus the Philadelphia Eagles. This Eagles team is hard. I want to put them in. I'm going to keep them in B. Buccaneers, I'm going to move them up to an A. I do like what I'm seeing from Baker Mayfield. I do like what I'm seeing from Bucky Irvin in this running game. Defensively, they've been playing some really solid football. Philly, on the other hand, still can't stop turning the ball over. Defensively, still not looking like the... It's just something with this football team is missing. The Sirianni issue, I'm not sure. Something with this football team is just not there. Something is missing. They have the talent, even though Brown and Smith are hurt. They have the talent to still be very competitive. They just aren't. So I want to move them to C so bad, but I'm going to keep them at B for the moment. Next, we're going to have the Washington Commanders versus the Arizona Cardinals. This might sound crazy. This might sound nuts. This might sound bonkers, but I'm moving the Commanders up to A. I really love how Jaden Daniels is playing. They have some veterans with Eckler. They have some veterans with Bobby Wagner and Zach Ertz that are leading this football team. And a young player, and Terry McLaurin from The Ohio State University as well. I really like how this football team, Dan Quinn is coaching this defense, and Cliff Kingsbury, offensive coordinator. I really like how this team is playing so far. They haven't punt. They're offensively, effectively moving the football. Defensively, they have been playing some really better football. So I'm putting the Commanders in the A. And as far as the Cardinals go, I'm keeping them in C. It's just this football. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I am not a big believer in Kyler Murray. I don't think I've ever really been a big believer in Kyler Murray. Not a big believer in Kyler Murray. They still have some things to correct. Buda Baker, I still think is probably going to be a trade piece. So this football team still has a lot of work to do. Next, we're going to have the San Francisco 49ers versus the Patriots. I'm keeping the Patriots in C, and I'm moving the Niners up to an A. This is the best that the Niners have looked all year, despite all the injury, despite all the things that have gone on. They are still playing, I think, very good football. And as far as the Patriots go, they're still the young and developing football team for the most part. So I can't really say this is a horrible football team. I can't really say they're the worst in the league. They have Pete. They have some young things to worry about. They have Drake May to worry about. I don't most expect this football team to be very competitive, but they are competitive, but they're just not a very talented football team at this moment. So keeping them at C. Next, we're going to go with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Chargers. I'm moving to keeping the Chiefs at S. And as far as the Chargers go, I'm keeping the Chargers at B for now. The Justin Herbert injury and things like that don't help this football team. Defensively, they've been playing solid football. Offensively, they haven't just gotten clicking, especially throwing the football. And the Chiefs are just the Chiefs. They just find ways to win football games despite Patrick Mahomes not being the Patrick Mahomes that we're used to seeing. He's still playing some good football, but he's not like the elite. He's still Patrick Mahomes. This defense has been absolutely good. Chris Jones, you can argue he's one of the top 5 defensive players in the league at this point. So, keeping the Chiefs at S, and I'm going to have the Chargers at B. Next, we're going to have the Raiders versus the Cleveland Browns. I'm putting the Browns at D. This defense has not been playing anywhere near the expectations that we have for them. Offensively, Deshaun Watson just doesn't look like the same quarterback. And I'm keeping the Raiders in C. They had Max Crosby and Devontae Adams out for this ball game, and they still play some solid football. Browns, is it time for Deshaun Watson to get benched? Just throwing it out there. Bills and Ravens. The way the Ravens look, I want to put them at S, but I'm putting them at A, and I'm going to keep the Bills at A. The Bills just ran into a buzzsaw as far as the Ravens really find the rhythm running the football with Henry, find the rhythm running the football with Lamar. They made some plays, and defensively, the Ravens did basically clamp the Bills. But I still keep the Bills at A for now because they just ran into a buzzsaw, and Josh Allen had to play hero ball, which is what they were trying to get away from him doing. And the Ravens forced Josh Allen to play hero ball, and when Josh Allen plays hero ball, sometimes it just doesn't work. So I really like what this Ravens team has been. Over these last 2 weeks, they're finally finding rhythm with Derrick Henry running the football. Defensively, Kyle Hamilton, Roquan Smith, and those boys have been playing some really good defense. So I'm having the Ravens at A, and I'm moving the Bills down to A. Next, we're going to have the Lions. No, the Dolphins versus the Titans. I'm getting these mixed up for some reason. But Dolphins, I'm moving them to a C. The Titans, I'm having them at C. I know I had the Titans a D last week. But is it time? I know Will Levis got hurt. And I think offensively they looked a bit better without Will Levis. Even though I still think Will Levis needs some more time to develop with those weapons. Defensively, he played a much better game, albeit the Dolphins have quarterback issues. Do they need Tua? So, defensively, the Titans, I think that's been their best unit all year, best thing going for them all year is what they can do on defense. It's just offensively, they just haven't been getting clicking, and some of that I think is due to the turnovers by Will Levis. And it sucks that he got hurt, but we shall see. And last but not least, the Lions and the Seahawks. I'm having the Lions at S. I still think this is one of the better football teams that we have in this league. Jared Goff plays some very efficient football, throwing the ball down the field. They were scoring touchdowns, running the football. Defensively, I think they could be playing better. The Seahawks, I'm still going to keep the Seahawks at A. Offensively, they looked very solid against the Detroit Lions defense that can cause some problems with Aiden Hutchinson. Geno Smith's been playing well. They have been running the football better with Kenneth Walker now back in the lineup. So, I'm going to have these on my rankings for Week 5. Make sure you guys leave your thoughts in the comments below, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace.